The time is at hand.
From the land of the rising crackheads in Williamson, West Virginia, you're in Dark Places. This is episode 200. Thanks for sticking around. It means a lot. These so-called drones seem to be just all over the news. And we have our very own drone witness. Mr. Time Bomb Man 2230 commented, "I've seen them here in New York 3 days ago. They were the size of minibuses." So that would have been on December 11th, from the date that I'm recording this. And thanks, Mr. Time Bomb Man.
Here on the dark side of the moon, play the 5 tones.
Alright, you get the idea. Here's your old friend Mr. Haunted with some breaking news. There you go. I started a Facebook page, I don't remember when, maybe a couple years ago, called Bob Lazar Fans. And at press time, it has 63,000 followers. And I posted this question on the page earlier today. Simply, what are your theories? And I'm going to give you a few of the answers we got. All right, I'll just give the first names of the people and then their answers. Norman says, the military is flying drones in order to spook the public and increase funding for anti-drone programs. And wait, there's a reply to that one. And then somebody wrote, 100,000 million% agreed.
Saul says, either staged by humans or re-engineered ET tech or ETs using their tech.
Then we have Jeff right here that says black budget 3 trillion buys that made in USA. I don't know what that means.
Ralph says, one thing, real ET drones, real ET crafts do not have lights. Only man-made equipment carries lights. These things are wanting to mimic cops or helicopters or anything. I think people figured it out by now. These are man-made drones. They have to be, because they saw too much, like jets, when they were going over, and then they disappear and they hover. I think so many come across technology and is doing a big test and seeing where we stand. Because you think regular ET drones? No way, Jose.
There's someone who wrote, John wrote, that's clearly a commercial aircraft.
Tom says, I think they're from Earth. It'd be pretty wild if they would use the same marker lights we all do. I'm thinking they are enemy drones doing recon, mapping out for a possible strike. Or maybe it's aliens coming to stop World War III.
And then, this is a weird name, and I'm going to say it, who cares? Art Teacher Kiddie Adventures apparently follows the Bob Lazar page. And they wrote, cover up for the real deal.
Mario says, man-made, absolutely.
And this is quite a long response, but I'm going to read it because it has lots of traction. I got 46 reactions to it. Dave Flores, this is the best theory I've come across so far. Comes off of his Jersey Futures. I'm one of the few groups of people who know exactly what the drones are in New Jersey. This tweet will go out into the void as I have no followers, but I'll share anyways. Please retweet for reach. What you're seeing are American-made HPGE nuclear detector drones. They can detect the presence of gamma rays miles away. But what is a gamma ray? Well, I know from being a comic book nerd that I believe gamma ray experiment gone wrong caused Bruce Banner to become the Hulk. But let's see what he writes here. That's the stuff we attribute to radiation, electromagnetic waves that penetrate you and cause cancer. HPGE drones are built to inspect nuclear sites, but these ones aren't. In the late 2000s, the DoD needed a response to the threat of dirty bombs from ISIS coming into our ports in New Jersey and New York. They've been stocking up on these drones for a while. Some were deployed to Ukraine when Russia threatened to use the use of dirty bombs. They look weird because they are heavy and have giant cryo coolers mounted and giant horn antennas to communicate on wave frequencies that can't be jammed. That is where I come in. The technology these drones use have few suppliers, both for wave equipment and the high-purity germanium, the same suppliers that are the backbone of the industry. So, what are they doing? Collecting information on how public will react, PSYOP, and testing their ability to sweep a port city like New York for dirty bombs. Jersey was chosen because we're the closest port to New York, and New York would be too dense for reliable wave comms. But why is the DoD silent? Again, because in a scenario we have threat of dirty bombs and the public doesn't yet know, the DoD needs to know how the public would react if these were deployed and sweep a city. What many don't realize is Ukraine is the reason we're here. That was the first time we deployed them in a combat zone. But make no mistake, they're for protecting the homeland, as DoD bought hundreds of thousands to act as swarms capable of sweeping a city. Original post from Reddit. And then we got some responses. That makes sense. Best theory yet. Feasible. Sounds legitimate. I thought it was a military exercise, for there wasn't any response to it. Thanks for the explanation. This theory could be very plausible. It makes the most sense. Sounds legit. Makes more sense than what the news is saying. This is the most realistic and plausible theory I've heard. So let's see if this comes true. You heard it here first on In Dark Places.
Jacob says, nukes are going to fly in weeks. This is a last-minute warning.
Tommy V writes, I think this outgoing administration owes China some favors and is turning a blind eye in denial, like the spy balloon scenario.
Dean says, the government knows what they are, 100%. And, yeah, I'm with you, Dean. This
Bollinger. I saw these over 15 years ago outside of an Air Force base in Illinois. They just started appearing out of thin air at the same spot in the sky until there were dozens of them. There was also a giant orange orb, the triangles forming a V formation, 3 rows back, and they started flying together in that formation with the orange orb at the tip of the V. My experience is they are extra-dimensional beings, and the government knows exactly what and who they are, and they are not telling us because, A, they think we'll freak out, B, they will lose control of us because of all the things they have been hiding from us will be known. They will not shoot them down because they know they can move too fast and just disappear, because they are extra-dimensional, not extraterrestrial. They have been here since the creation of humanity. They are not alien to us, more like forgotten to us. They are the angels of the Bible and the aliens of today. This is not my opinion. This is my experience.
Pascal says, the issue of drones flying over New Jersey is an excellent lesson for all those who blindly believe in extraterrestrial visitors. Look closely at the reactions. Many commentators jump to conclusions, even before knowing the full story, without knowing much, apart from the fact that these objects are clearly drones displaying the same navigation signals as all other regulated aircraft with a flight license. People cry out about extraterrestrial visitors, time travelers, or extra-dimensional beings. In fact, these are machines perfectly identified by the government, but not made public for reasons that concern them. Since when does the government or the Department of Defense reveal all its operations to the public? It is very naive and immature to think that intelligence services disclose all their operations to the public. It doesn't work like that in reality. These drones are certainly operated by the American military itself, but no. As usual, people immediately jump to fanciful and absurd conclusions. We're being visited. These are extraterrestrials mimicking our planes and drones. See the latest videos by Ross Coulthart on YouTube claiming that these are UFOs imitating our drones. This issue once again demonstrates that UFOs are in fact the product of our overactive imagination and our desire to believe in something exotic or extraordinary, even if they are false and have a rational explanation. This issue of drones over New Jersey perfectly demonstrates the emotional and instinctive reactions that lead to the creation of false beliefs, rumors, and legends. Most so-called drones and UFOs are simply planes and jetliners. The reaction of those who immediately claim that the lights they see in the sky are proof of extraterrestrial visitors is totally insane, when they are simply terrestrial objects like planes, drones, satellites, Chinese lanterns, and balloons. It is time to reflect on our tendency to get carried away too quickly and take our fancies for reality. It is time for people to develop their critical thinking and learn to exercise discernment.
And Jose B. writes, why are they calling them drones and not UFOs? That's another thing. People just jump to drones, and that's kind of like the catchword everybody's saying. They're drones, and they're not saying what are these unexplained objects.
Darcy says, I think some of them are ours, and some orbs are not. We are investigating them with drones, or they are transforming themselves into our familiar technology.
That one's too long for me to read. Hold on. Ruben suggests they found a new way to spray junk in the air to make it sick.
Don says, is it Amazon delivering packages? Could be, it's Christmas time.
Terrence, the government is up to something yet again, and if you don't believe it, you're fooling yourself.
Yen says, something is coming. The quickening is real. Explosive outcome imminent.
A lot of people, including Mark R., suggested Project Bluebeam. Patrick, they are likely just some rich kid's prank. That's the only one I really don't believe in. But who knows?
Dennis says, not any sort of drone that I've ever seen. My thoughts are that our government plays us all for fools.
Donnie suggests it's Elon and his billionaire buddies and their new toys.
Jeffrey says there are 57 different alien groups we are in contact with, and they know of about 60 other groups. Most of the universe is more advanced than Earth, and aliens have been here for over 1 million years, according to Project Blue Book, that found a rock geo that was 1 million years old with a perfect power diode encased in it. It's clear that the government denies them to get technical advantages, and the aliens get to do experiments on us, something I'm sure they can't do on their home planet.
And Hans writes, man-made, why would E.T. need marker lights?
George says they want us to get used to seeing stuff like that in the sky, that we don't know what it is, and not to be afraid.
Patty says, I think it's Jeff Bezos getting his drone fleet up there and running for Amazon deliveries. Probably Elon involved in the mix too somehow.
Ray says, deep state.
And Austin writes, my theory? I've never seen Bob Lazar and Stephen King in the same room. Huh.
Good thought. Brad says, has anyone mentioned Skynet yet?
Joshua R. writes, if these belong to a foreign country, then we're screwed. But we also have to start thinking with much more of an open mind, in my opinion.
Doug says, man-made. No security clearance needed on this contract. Some distraction from something else. I see no clear objective in his test flight. And yeah, they do like to distract us from other things.
Steve K. U.S. new tech drones being tested and to gauge public reactions. Just how will the civilian population react to such a situation?
David says something to do with the continuation of government department that is barely spoken of publicly. working in conjunction with the secret space program. These characters do know what they are doing here.
Jared W. writes, First of all, that's clearly an airplane. In fact, I think most of them are airplanes.
Aaron says, America doing it themselves, trying to cause mass panic, blame Russia, etc.
Jason writes, Deep government misinformation campaign make these sound man-made propeller drones. Cannot be alien.
Mark says, has anyone ever followed one? They're going somewhere. There won't be an inauguration with these things in the air. Good point.
Nadine heard a dude on Rogan recently saying USA drones are made in China, so that in itself is a concern.
Ron says, we're only seeing the ones with their lights on. How many are there?
James P. writes, I'm guessing alien disclosure is being pressed upon the public until they accept reality, because the world can no longer stand to be controlled by a toxic establishment.
Eric says, who cares? It's just a joke to keep you distracted.
David D. writes, looks Klingon. You know it does, Dave, and you gave us more of an answer than our government did, so thank you.
James D. says, a way to get more laws and control over civilians' use of drones. They want us disarmed, and everyone's seen how effective drones are in Ukraine against modern, expensive tech. Another government agency will be formed because of this.
And then, here's Tom S. Target practice time. Well, anyways, there's some of the answers on the Bob Lazar fan page. And, in case you're curious, I did get a special message about a year ago. They said they need to know the man behind the mask. So me and this guy start talking a little bit. He's from England. And he said he is personal good friends with Bob Lazar. Dramatic sip of coffee. And he's like, would you like to talk with him? I said, he knows about your page. And I showed it to him, and he's happy with it. He likes what you're doing. So I said, no. I said, if I talked to Bob, I would be tongue-tied and I don't even bother the guy. So as long as he's cool with the page, I'm happy. So anyways, there's some answers, and go follow the Bob Lazar fan page. There's a couple of them, but I think mine has the most followers, 63,000. And here we go. Let's end with this.
Give her 6 quavers, then pause.
She sent us 4 quavers, a group of 5 quavers, a group of 4 semi-quavers.
And I want to go on record with my own guess, because if it's true, it's the coolest thing ever. I'm saying they're aliens. Thank you. Back to you, Junebug.
I think so too. That's the one that makes the most sense.
Junebug, I miss the Martian term. You know, I don't know when it changed, probably in the 60s or 70s or something. But I like saying when the Martians come, it's more fun than aliens.
Yeah.
Because aliens could be a variety of different people. Martians, they're from Mars.
The drones are being flown by Martians. I like it.
And you can put that in the show if you want. I don't even care.
Well, and he's gone just like that. Jimmy Haunted, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. It's a busy man right there. He's got some top secret projects going on as well. Trump was at this press conference and he was talking about it, and he said that the government knows and they're not going to tell anyone what's going on, and like they need to come clean and stuff. And then at the end of it, one of the reporters asked him, have you been briefed on this situation? And he said, no, I don't want to talk about that.
See,
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
the government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you shoot them down?
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
Do you have any reason to think they're?
So he knows, and he's not speaking either. That's what I got from that. And here's some of our listeners' theories on what the drones or UFOs are. Percival Vaughn Gravy Train says, I think it's a drone. The Beasters says, looks like the military drones, and for some reason they don't want to tell us. Imagine drones flying over the sky everywhere, and the government not caring. They know. Dry runs for Russia, etc. Thanks, the Beasters. Rick says they're drones from Iran. Spies. Amber says, somebody said drones, but there is technology in which they can project that they are something else. See there? That's what I'm talking about. My friend Steve says, I don't know what the deal is with the drones. They're everywhere. It is something to do with either government or aliens. I believe just because they say they're drones don't mean they're drones. I do know that if they would fly one over West Virginia, someone would have shot it down by now. I agree. Thanks, Steve. My friend David says that he thinks they're demonic. Interesting. Our friend Linda says, I don't know. Is it Iran? China?
China?
The fact they aren't trying to hide what they're doing is scary. My fear is a terror attack, and I'm just completely amazed that our government is brushing it off. There will be an attack of some sort. Yeah, I think so too. It's coming. Our friend Kyle says he thinks they're UFOs, and I think so too. I think that a lot of them are UFOs, and there's drones being sent out to kind of follow them around, see what they're up to. So since there's drones out with the UFOs, the government's like, yeah, it's just drones. Good old government. They're rascal. Our friend Matt Leggett sends this view from across the pond. Thanks, Matt. He says that the videos are really amazing. I can't dismiss any of those because, guess what? I wasn't there. Same as I show my stuff. The individual who took the videos saw them. UFO, alien, or more. Could be the government playing games. I mean, they ship out all their black ops stuff to third parties. So many secret entities out there. Drones, unless they are gas-driven or nuclear, can only stay in the sky for so long. So, ones we see for hours and hours are mysterious. We will see. I'm as puzzled as you are. Thanks, Matt. OG listener. Our friend Ron says, I'm more worried about how the government isn't looking harder and doesn't know what they are more than the drones themselves. Have you heard the theory that the drones are searching in a grid? Like deliberate pattern for maybe something radioactive and lost? Several nuclear storage bases and facilities around those areas. What is spooky and a shame is a foreign country could sail a yacht or fishing ship across the ocean and a 100 mile or so off the coast load a small portable type nuke on a car-sized drone, launch it, fly it over somewhere along the coast, detonate it, and our government, or us, won't know what happened or how right now. Now it seems there's a mayor in New Jersey who's talking about some nuclear material missing from one of those big shipping containers, like they haul in trucks. They found one of those open on a ship, and some kind of nuclear thing was missing from it. So the drones are trying to stop the nuke. And that seems to be the popular theory right now. They're looking for nukes, and the government is saying nothing about it. Maybe they're gearing up their next big pandemic thing, and they don't want to leak it before it happens. It's Kind of like a kid finding his Christmas presents before Christmas time, and he just sort of accidentally opens one of them up and finds out what he's going to be getting for Christmas. It's the same thing. They don't want that information leaking out right now because it'll ruin the surprise. This just in. Finally, there's an official reason for the New Jersey drone mystery by Lily Mae Lazarus. And I'm sure this is going to be the narrative that they all just run with. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas offered a possible explanation for the recent uptick of drone encounters along the eastern seaboard, particularly in the skies above New Jersey, which have prompted concerns among residents and lawmakers. Reports of drone sightings across New Jersey and neighboring states, he said Sunday, may be the result of a rule change by the Federal Aviation Administration. In September of 2023, the FAA changed the rules so that drones could fly at night, Mayorkas told ABC News this week. And that may be one of the reasons why people are now seeing more drones than they did before, especially from dawn to dusk. Yeah. Sorry, Mayorkas. I'm not buying it. And then there's this. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio closed for hours due to drone activity, by Jessica Dill. And see, because Wright-Patterson is where some of the aliens are from Roswell. Remember that? So it makes sense that the drones will go there. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio was shut down for hours this weekend due to drone activity. The shutdown occurred amid reports of clusters of drone-like objects flying low in the night sky for several states, but little information has been released about them. Some of the drones, or suspected drones, have also been flying over military installations, alarming residents in states including New Jersey and New York. Officials have attempted to reassure the public that military installations are able to detect and respond to drones, and security personnel are trained to identify them. So why are they not doing that then? These one folks were driving down a road in New Jersey, listening to Christmas music and just minding their own business. And on 106.7 at like 11:15 p.m., 11:10, something like that, this weird transmission came on the radio. What is this? This just in. Drone sightings temporarily shuts down runways at New York Airport. By Michelle Stoddart. Thanks, Michelle. A frustrated Governor Kathy Hochul has called for federal assistance after the latest drone sightings temporarily shutting down an airport Friday night. The latest in a series of mysterious occurrences taking place across the country. Officials at Stewart International Airport, located roughly 60 miles north of New York City, said they shut down their runways for an hour after the Federal Aviation Administration alerted them that a drone was spotted in the area at 9:30 p.m. There were no impacts to flight operations during the closure, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey said in a statement. Hochul said in a statement Saturday that the incident is the latest drone sighting in the state since mid-November and expressed her frustration. "This has gone too far," she said. Hochul said that she called on the New York State Intelligence Center to probe the drone sighting incidents, but called on the federal government to do more. Specifically, she called on Congress to pass the Counter-UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act, which would strengthen the FAA's oversight of drones and give more authority to state and local law enforcement agencies to investigate the activity. Extending these powers to New York State and our peers is essential, she said. Until those powers are granted to state and local officials, the Biden administration must step in by directing additional federal law enforcement to New York and the surrounding region to ensure the safety of our critical infrastructure and our people. And that's about all the big show for this week. Thanks again for making 200 episodes possible. Thanks for listening, and thanks for everyone that replied to our little question about the theories. And thanks as always, Jimmy Haunted. We'll see you again right here next week. God bless.